Imagine a planet so alive it refuses to stay the same for even one night. A world where the ground shifts beneath your feet like a breathing beast. Where rain burns through spacesuits, beauty hides deadly acid, and entire landscapes are sculpted and destroyed in hours. This is Delo, one of the strangest planets ever discovered in the known universe. A rogue exoplanet that looks like nature on steroids, or a warning from the cosmos itself. From orbit, Delo appears deceptively beautiful, an emerald gem veiled in swirling golden clouds rich with exotic trace gases, but beneath that hazy shroud lies a nightmare of impossible geology. As the explorers broke through the thick atmosphere, the surface revealed itself in dazzling, nightmarish glory. Towering rock outcrops jutted upward like colossal coral reefs from some ancient, feverish ocean, jagged spires stretching for kilometers, formed by relentless volcanic and tectonic fury. Between them flowed rivers of molten stone, feeding into one colossal, supermassive ocean that sat like a dark, pulsating heart at the planet's center. Its waters were thick, murky, and almost oil-like, heavy with dissolved minerals and unknown compounds. The ground itself was restless. Strange alien flora erupted before their eyes, shoots piercing the soil in seconds, blooming into iridescent flowers that release clouds of nutrient-rich spores, only to wither and collapse back into fertile mulch within a minute. Entire life cycles played out in fast-forward evolution, accelerated by the planet's hyperactive chemistry and shifting gases. Some plant spores get blown up into the atmosphere and germinate there. They get moisture and nutrients from the clouds. The favorable condition promotes growth. Then these happens. It rains flowers. Flocks of ethereal bird-like creatures wheeled through the sulphurous skies, their glass-like wings refracting the alien light. Everything here seemed built for flight, as if the ground could never be trusted. Then the volcanoes awakened. Half a dozen erupted in eerie unison, fountains of molten fire painting the clouds blood red. Suddenly the ground rumbled. A crack split the earth with a scream that sounded like the planet itself crying out in rage. The fissure raced across the surface faster than anyone could run. Dust, fire, and debris exploded upward as the chasm widened into a yawning abyss. When the chaos finally settled, the landing craft lay crushed at the bottom of the new gorge, half buried in rock and mud. Moments later, the dark ocean tides surged in, swallowing the wreckage beneath churning black waves. The explorers were now stranded. Communications were dead in the dense, hostile atmosphere. Cut off from their orbiting ship, they faced a living death trap. The first warning from the sky came as rain. At first, it seemed almost normal droplets falling from the golden clouds. But when those drops hit the rocks, they hissed and sizzled, sending up plumes of white, corrosive smoke. This was no ordinary rain. It was hyperacidic sheets of burning liquid laced with exotic compounds far stronger than anything found on Earth. They barely reached the shelter of a dark cave carved into a cliff face before the downpour became a relentless torrent. Inside the cave, a strange silence fell. But Delo had one more deadly wonder waiting. In the heart of the cavern glowed a pool of impossible beauty, shimmering in emerald, crimson, and liquid gold, pulsing as if alive. Rippling hues danced across the walls like melted gemstones. For a moment, it looked like paradise, until the scanners revealed the terrifying truth. It was pure acid, strong enough to eat through even the most reinforced suits in seconds. Even beauty on Delo was lethal. When they emerged at what should have been dawn, the planet had betrayed them once again. Overnight, the landmass had grown and shifted like a living organism. Mountains had risen where none existed before. Valleys had collapsed. What had been a cave entrance at shoulder height now sat high atop a freshly raised hill. Delo doesn't sleep, it evolves. Desperate for a clearer signal, they climbed the unstable new summit. Against all odds, a faint transmission broke through. A rescue lander was dispatched from orbit. But as the disc-shaped craft touched down on the shoreline, the murky ocean began to rise, swelling as if pulled upward by some invisible planetary force. Water surged forward, swallowing the beach and climbing rapidly toward the lander. The explorers raced down the shifting slope, rocks sliding beneath their boots as the sea roared higher behind them. They reached the craft just in time, lifting off moments before the dark waves swallowed the shoreline whole. Back aboard the space station, the debriefing revealed a harsh reality. The vast, mineral-rich ocean and exotic resources of Dalol held unimaginable potential. Yet the mission had ended in failure, no samples, no meaningful data, and a valuable lander lost. The planet had proven itself unstable, unpredictable, and relentlessly hostile. Terrain that changed overnight, acid rain that corroded everything it touched, a world that seemed determined to reject any intruder. Dalol was not just a planet. It was a warning, and that warning went unheard.